If you see the same numbers everywhere you look, it means that you're experiencing synchronicity, meaningfully related coincidences of events. This video is probably the best documented example of synchronicity in existence, proving that our reality is not what you think it is. Listen to my story and decide whether you can get some answers to the troubling questions about the nature of our existence. I'm a music and video producer, and at the end of 1997, my friend and I made a techno track we called 4:34 AM. This was the first time this number appeared in my life. At first, I would randomly wake up at 4:34 AM for no apparent reason. Then I noticed that I look at the clock when it's showing 4:34 or 16 hours 34 minutes. And because it seemed unusual and interesting, I started paying attention to it and I started taking pictures and documenting what was happening. Over the years, things got more frequent, more regular, and more weird. When I installed a phone line, I was assigned this number. When someone asked me to call them, 434 would be in their number. 434 would be the number of an elevator I would get on, the score of a game I would play, and so on. Then I started noticing this number in movies and on TV. Then online, in the most random places. In internet search results. When I would find a video, it would always be 4 minutes and 34 seconds long. I noticed that sometimes 434 had a common theme. When I would look at the speed while driving my car, it would be 34 miles per hour in the fourth gear. When I parked my car, it would be parking space number 434. When I wanted to buy a car, its mileage would be 14,434. I would also see 434 in license plates of cars parked or driving in front of me. In 2015, my life completely changed after I discovered psychedelic states. The 434 phenomenon became very intense, and I realized that there is more to it than just simple synchronicity. And then things got really serious in 2016, and that was when I realized that someone or something is testing the limits of my reality perception. Here's what happened. Not long after moving to England, I spent 4 years working for Emirates Airline, and during that time I had only one training on emergency procedures. And one of the things we concentrated on was the importance of leaving behind the cabin baggage during evacuation. At that stage, Emirates had a clean record with 0 aviation accidents, and almost exactly 8 years from the date of that training, first Emirates plane crashed in Dubai. The accident made headlines because of the very same reason I had the training on. Passengers taking their bags with them. But the thing that made me question reality was not that. It was the fact that the crash happened on my birthday, and that the aircraft's line number was 434. As if this wasn't strange enough, this new combination of 434 with the numbers 8 and 3 also started appearing in my life. Here's a frame from a random lottery video I was sent recently. The balls with my date of birth are right next to the 434 balls. Recently, I was telling this story to my friend on Instagram chat, and in the background I had a random YouTube video playing. As soon as I told her about the Emirates accident, my birthday showed up on the screen. Then I found out something even stranger, that everything is connected and that this number affects events that happened in the past. One of the first videos I made was an animation about humans, and it caught the attention of Roseanne Barr, who posted it on her Twitter page. This was a very important moment in my early days of video production. The other reason why you're watching this video now, and the reason I discovered psychedelic states, is Joe Rogan and his podcasts. When I found out that Joe had Roseanne in his studio, I googled it, and not only did I get 43,400 results, the episode number was 434. The important thing is that that podcast had been recorded 2 years before I made my video. The chances of this being a coincidence are exactly 0. This combination is way beyond any logical explanation. All my friends and family know about the 434 phenomenon, and we all see that this is something that cannot be a coincidence. Recently, I started looking around and paying attention to what was happening in my life, and things got weirder and weirder. I found out that the Earth's population at the time of my birth was 4.434 billion. That was also when I realized that the road that led to my house was A34, the same as Neo's license plate in Matrix, one of the most significant movies for me. 434 showed up in the random Matrix article I found when I was looking for more information about it. I realized that my train home from work is at 4:34 p.m. and that the number is printed sometimes on my tickets, right next to my birthday. The number appears also on everyday objects. I get emails sent or received not showing the actual time, but 4:34. This is happening now a few times a day. when editing a video, when stopping a recording of a podcast at a random time. Even when friends want to show me a picture or a video on their phone, the number will be somewhere there. When reading about the history of YouTube, it turned out that Peter Oakley, the first most subscribed YouTuber ever, uploaded exactly 434 videos. And 434 is not the only type of synchronicity in my life. It is just the most visible and regular one. I could make a whole new video about the other ones that are happening in my life on a daily basis. I mean, I dare you to start recording a voice note and then stopping it without looking at the time exactly at this moment. And then try and make it happen again, a few days in a row. It's impossible. Recently, things got a little bit more complex. Look at this car parked in front of my car, and then a month later, 1,000 miles away, look at the package I received with the same number on it. And then playing a game and finishing with this score, being shown a random online ad again with the same number. It's not even the fact that 434 appears, but how it appears, in regular or symmetrical sequences or as round numbers. All of this is impossible to explain mathematically, scientifically, and logically. Some time ago I came to the conclusion that there are only two possibilities why this is happening. Either we manifest those numbers with our mind, or someone or something is communicating with us. It is clear that this reality's rules are not set in concrete, and that it is being modified or created, either by us or by somebody else. In both cases, I was left with no choice but to accept the fact that this life is not what we are told it is. This reality is just a small part of something much bigger and much more complex, and most of us don't get to see it. I wish for you to find a method of discovering it and shifting your focus from what you see to that which is only accessible through opening your mind, and I hope this video can help you. Synchronicity is skeptically explained by cognitive bias as the tendency to look for connections between unrelated events. Yet there are currently no scientific methods of explaining everything I presented here in terms of probability, physics, logic, statistics, or mathematics. Also, the video I showed you focuses only on the numbers. They are not just numbers. There's a long list of events and coincidences happening in mine and other people's lives that prove without a shadow of the doubt that we are wrong about this reality. If you're ever wondering what this life is about, trust me that there is more to it than just what we know. My case is just a small example, but it shows that everything you learn in school or have seen on TV is not real. Different rules apply to a life where you're communicated with from the outside, or where you can have an impact on reality with your thoughts. Let this be an introduction to you realizing that your reality is not governed by laws of physics or biology. This video is a proof that you're not a physical being having a metaphysical experience. You are a spiritual entity currently struggling with experiencing a life in a human form, governed by a completely different set of laws, and your life should be all about discovering them. To find out about the explanation for this synchronicity, watch the second part of this video, link in the video description.